I'm Erin, and this is my friend Tanner, and today we're going to read to you chapter 14 of Misty of Chincoteague. This chapter is called The Wiki. Usually, a colt learns from its mother. It hears her whicker at the sound of a man's voice. It sees her gallop to meet him when he comes down to the corral. It sees her lip the man's hand. Soon the colt discovers that man represents the good things of life. Delicious surprises in the ways of sugar, carrots, and apples. And presently it is trying to please man too, not only to be rewarded with something to eat, but to enjoy the tingling feeling of his hand or the pleasant sound of his voice. With the Phantom and Misty, things happened to be the other way around. Misty accepted human beings right from the start. Their hands felt good to her. She would brace herself, her forelegs splayed out, while Paul and Maureen gently stroked her neck or traced the blaze on her face. She would lean towards them, asking in a way that only she knew for attention, and she would never stop. Whenever they brushed her foretop or her mane, she lowered her golden eyelashes as if dreaming in the most wonderful of dreams. I declare, chuckled Grandpa, that Misty reminds me of a girl never getting beautified for her first dance. Never was a colt more curious. A wiki was something to be investigated. First she nosed it. It tickled her coatly whiskers and made her sneeze. Sneezing was fun. And one day, without knowing how it happened, she was wearing the wiki around her neck. It did not hurt. It did not hurt at all. Paul and Maureen were at the other end of it, and they were singing softly, "Come, little Misty, come along." Misty moved a step toward them, her ears pricked as if to catch the music with her name. "That's my foot, sir. That's not a step." And wonder of wonders, she was rewarded with a lump of sugar as she walked along. When Phantom saw that Misty was not being hurt, she would come forward too. Nervously, she would take what she was offered and then back away, a safe distance behind her colt. Grandma often came out to watch, with a dish of apples or a pear and an armful of clothes to the patch. "This be a very topsy-turvy pair if I've ever seed," she would laugh softly. "'Stead of the colt following its mommy, it's the other way around." It was days, however, before the Phantom let anyone touch her. The mere placement of a hand upon her coat acted like an electric shock. She would bolt away, snorting in fright. But as August wore on, the horse flies became so vicious that she turned to Paul and Maureen for help. "She's missing the surf," Paul said as he watched her trying to shudder her coat to drive the flies away. But the flies seemed to stick faster, drawing blood until the Phantom was crazy with pain. They watched her settle up to the other ponies in the ranch to get the benefit of the swishing tails, but the other ponies bunched up and ran away from her. She tried standing head to tail with Misty, but Misty's tail was too short and floppy that it wasn't much good. Finally, when she was almost exhausted, she let Paul and Maureen flick the flies off for her. She would offer first one leg and then the other, and before the fly season was over, she had learned to shake hands like any circus pony. Riding the Phantom was quite another matter. Yet it too came about so gradually that she was quite aware of how it happened. First, Maureen made a wide girth out of an old bed sheet and fitted it around the Phantom's body, immediately back of her forelegs. Once Phantom discovered that she could gallop just as fast with that band around her belly, she no longer minded it. Next, Paul fastened a small sack of sand to the girth. Phantom tried in vain to buck it off, but at last she seemed to realize she could run just as fast as ever with that sand on her back. After that, she no longer fought it. "If she'll carry that sand, I bet she'll carry us," Paul concluded. And so it was. By the time the frost came, they were riding her bareback, but nothing but a single come-along rope made of the wiki. "Phantom just won't take a metal bit in her mouth," Paul explained to Grandpa one evening as Maureen stood watching him trim one of the pony's hooves. "Great jumping mullets," Grandpa exploded. "This pinto's forefeet grown out so far, I'm going to need my old-timey razors aside my snips. Maureen, go get my razor." "Now, what do you say about the Phantom?" Grandpa asked as he waited. "She just won't take the metal bit," Paul repeated. "We're using that old wiki for the bridle and the bit." "Well, ain't she traveling? Where do you want her to go?" Grandpa barked, turning around to look at Paul. "Oh yes, we just lean the way we want her to go and lay the wiki over her neck. What more do you want?"
Nothing, Grandpa, nothing at all. Maureen and I, well, you might be ashamed of us for not doing the job right on our own pony. Ashamed, bellowed Grandpa, straightening up and rubbing both of his ears. I'm so dang proud, it's a wonder I haven't busted my suspender straps. Name me 2 other kids as gentle a 3-year-old wild mare. Maureen came running with a razor. Walk, commanded Grandpa. How often you got to be told you want to live and be a grown-up, you should never run with anything sharp as an old-timey razor. Grandpa says it all right, Paul told Maureen. Phantom doesn't ever need to know a metal bit. Not ever? Asked Maureen. Not ever, repeated Grandpa as he wielded the razor in an expert manner. I reckon she'll be happier than ever without knowing.